first thing that you're going to want to do is you need to log in. Logging in is very easy because you could just sign up with your Google account. So choose whatever Google account you want to use and then sign in and you should be okay. So when you log in, it will basically check your Gmail and ask you if you want to continue with Google. You continue with Google and it will pick one of your Google accounts and you just sign in. No need to create a password, no need to remember anything. You just sign in, right? So now that you're signed in and you are ready to ask questions, so you have to ask yourself, if I were asking a human being this question, how would I phrase it? So here's some simple things, right?
Hey, sorry to interrupt here, but if you're watching this video, you're probably a teacher that's trying to find a better way to do things or trying to find a way to use technology to help you out in your teaching. One of the things we do at Make It Simple TT is we find ways to educate people in different ways by putting out free content, but we also have special classes that we create. And we have a special class called Office Applications that should be coming up in June. Now, this class doesn't really assume that you know anything. But if you do know something, it will also enhance your skills. So it'll teach you things like creating professional documents, how to set margins properly, how to do those different things that they do to set lines for people to write on, multiple choice questions, how to format the documents, and most of all, how to collaborate with them. And that's just documents. But we also have a section for spreadsheets. Spreadsheets and how to use spreadsheets, how to do the formulas, how to create the graphs, how to create the charts, and how to collaborate with other people on the same spreadsheet so that I'll be able to do things like create report cards and do calculations for grades and all those different things. We have a special spreadsheet section. And one of the newer things that teachers should be doing a lot of is creating simple websites for their students to go on to get content and review things. And what we will be teaching is how to use Google Sites to create websites that are very, very easy to use, very easy to publish on the internet, and you'll be able to put all the content that you need to be able to create a centralized space, maybe for your own class. And that's the Office Applications class. So it starts in June and it runs for 3 months, June, July, August. It might take up a little bit of your holidays, but that's okay. The official cost is $900, but if you saw it inside this video, put in the code ChatGPT at registration and you will get a 10% discount just because you saw it inside this video and you were trying to find a way to use AI in your teaching. So we start in June. The classes are from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and there are assignments, there's work to do, there's collaboration, and of course you get an e-certificate upon completion because we want you to have something to show that you could actually use Office applications, not just on a computer, but in the cloud. Back to the video now.
Let's say you want to do a lesson and you want to do a lesson on like the number line. So can you explain the number line to a 7-year-old using appropriate examples? Using an appropriate example, because it'll give you a lot of stuff. An appropriate example. You do that, it will be like, okay, think I can figure this out. So you want to explain the number line. So a number line is like a big ruler that helps us show where different numbers are. Imagine you're on a big playground with a big slide. The number line starts at the bottom of the slide and goes all the way up. The bottom of the slide is like the number 0 on the number line, and as you go up the slide, the numbers on the number line get bigger. So yeah, the very top of the slide, that's like being the number 10 on the number line. Does that make sense? And you could say, no, use an analogy with pizza, not food. And then it will say, okay, sure, let's try to use an analogy with food. And it's number line is a big plate with different kinds of food on it. The plate representing number line and the food representing numbers. The left side of the plate is number 0 and whatnot. As you move to the right on the plate, the numbers get bigger and bigger. So if you have a big number 10 on the right side plate, that is analogy. You get an next analogy and you'll be like, no, use cars. And as you can see, it will just keep spitting out different ways and different analogies of explaining the topic that you want to explain. Now, you could use this as like, okay, I'm running out of ideas of how to explain a number line. How can I do it in such a way that they like? But you might not be familiar with something like cars, or may not be familiar with something like gaming, or you may not be familiar with something like even Roblox. You could try to get ChatGPT to give you some sort of analogy. He kind of stuck here, but like taking kind of long. Nope, couldn't figure that one out. Okay, so let's just do another response. Right, so let's say you want to explain fractions, right? Right, so I want to create some content that I want to print for students to understand fractions. So create a table explaining fractions as small as 1/20th. So it will show the fractions from 1 to 1/20th and the decimal equivalents, and boom, here's your table. When you're done here, all you copy in and paste this, that's all you have to do. 1/20th 11, 12. And it will show you all the fractions for everything up to the 20th. But let's suppose this is not what we want. We want to show all the fractions from breaking our whole. So show fractions breaking down a whole number into fractions down to 1/8. Right? Let's try 1/8. So create a table to show fractions breaking down. So let's try this, right? So the table that we did before, this was just breaking down all the 1/20th fractions for us. But I mean, we could do that, but we want to say create a table to show fractions breaking down the whole number into fractions down to 1/8. So I will see what happens now, breaking it down into 1/8. So a whole number, you have 18.25, and then it will break it down and it will show you. So you realize the prompt that you give is going to try to make sense of it, right? So now let me see if I could get a little more complex and say, no, I wanted to see half, 1/2, then 1/4, then 1/8. So let's see if it will figure that out. So look at that, halves, quarters, and 1/8. And yeah, it could do that for you. Now, you will have to experiment with the prompt. You're going to have to ask questions. But the thing is, you could take this exact table here and just copy it and go into Word. And inside Word, you just paste it. Table. You take the table and you could format the table to however you want it. Change it to a normal table, and then you could highlight it and then go to design. Take the table that you have here and click on it and then go to layout or design and change the table design to whatever design you see fit. And yeah, you just got help from and you could format the table after, change the colors and the other, and you have no problems. So you can do that for you. So that's maths, right? That's simple arithmetic. You can get analogies for almost anything. All you have to do is give me an analogy or give me a way to teach something, right?